Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'm Benoit Lepetit. I'm head of data at Saint-Gobain Distribution France, and we will talk about our data science journey and organization with some few data stories. So let me introduce you first Saint-Gobain and the Distribution France. Saint-Gobain is present in 70 countries, has three types of activity. We talk about high performance solution, industry, and distribution will be our main focus today. We have more than 160,000 employees and making a revenue worldwide of 38 billion euros. For the distribution part, we are on the focus in France. We have 2,000 outlets, making roughly a point of sales every 8 kilometers. We have 10 different brands. The main known are Point P, La Plateforme du Bâtiment, CDO, and so on. Making 7.5 billion revenue in France and with 22,000 employees. We have reference of more than 1 million SKU with more than 300,000 clients. So let's start this data journey by first presenting our goal. Basically, how can data transform our business? So as you see, it's split in two lines. The first line is pretty classic. It's basically the POC phase, where we have a business case, a translation in terms of data case, and then with AI solution, a business solution. From that, we need to create value out of the algorithm. So it's the second line, where we take all the value of the algorithm from a POC side to data business transformation. So we will describe how we deal with that in terms of organization and in terms of process. To get back a little bit in terms of time, where we are standing now and where we have been in Saint-Gobain Distribution France. So before 2019, basically data was seen as a cost, maybe a project. Data value needs to be proven, but nothing really happening. There was some POC, but no value linked to this POC, no industrialization, no volunteer of the business to move forward on this subject. From this 2019 until now, we've moved a lot because we will be able to tackle the main issues of this data transformation by showing values to the operational, showing value to our directors, and showing value to our executive committee. So we move from data is valuable as a tool to a more data-driven company where data is present at every level of the company in terms of hierarchy as well as of business units. To tackle this data transformation, I choose and we choose collectively to first address the operationals in terms of day-to-day support. How it works. So basically, we open what we call a data desk or a day-to-day support desk, where operational ask us a question about difficulty about gathering data or difficulty to understand an issue, where we are able as a data scientist to answer this question with models or accessibility to the data. By doing that and talking directly to the operational, we basically kill two birds with one stone. We facilitate the work of directors by, in terms of deployment of data programs from directors to operational, because operational are aware of data. Plus, we gain access to the operational in terms of ID and ability to create a new project from operational to a global level of the group. From that, another point need to be addressed is to tackle the thing, or to be able to link the value to the action, because you need, in order to change the people, the change they work, to link their action with an algorithm, or before and after the use of this algorithm, to a value. We tackle that, we export that, we work strongly and pretty closely with all the people in the hierarchy, and we prove that with algorithm we're getting value, and with this value you're making euros. So it's at this level that the top management or executive committee take this as a strong possibility of development and a strategic way for the distribution in France to move forward in terms of performance. In terms of team, when I arrived in 2019, basically there was not really a project developed. There was some support, one support per year or something like this. We move forward, we build a complete team. From now in 2021, we are around 10 data scientists, 5 data engineers, and we are running more than 250 support activities per year and more than 10 projects per year. In order to do that, we have also to build a tech strategy. The tech strategy starts with what we call this data centralization, or give access to the people to the data, or have all the data at one point, have knowledge of the metadata around this data in order to use this data. It was our first work in terms of roadmap. The second step, or the second keystone, is basically how we work together, how we build a model or a performance in terms of team to be better every day. So we put in place collaborative research between data scientists using the same libraries and building on top of that. In terms of engineering and scientists, we used the versioning of code and versioning of research, as well as the classic automatic code styling, in order to have almost the same way of coding for every people. The second milestone is to say, okay, well, we have a production issue between the POC and the production. So we have to find a way to have a common framework between engineers and scientists in order to move forward quickly in terms of production. So we developed in-house a production framework where one data scientist and one data engineer have the same code, have the same framework. So basically we move from, I don't know, something like 6 months in terms of from POC to production to something like 1 day. We are completely in this process of CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development. And the last milestone, which is one of the most important in maybe the drawback of any kind of data program, is the way that we take value from this algorithm, of this algorithm. It's basically by monitoring the performance, finding KPI that are able to speak to all the counterparties. When I talk about a revenue, I should be, as an operation, understand what is this revenue, and link basically the action of our algorithm to a value and adding value. When we do that, it's easier, or it's almost really easy to move forward and to make this business change. For a global view of 2020, we developed 10 apps, 10 dedicated applications. We move forward in terms of industrial projects, more something like 13 projects, and we made more than 150 supports. So let's talk about some more fun part. Maybe it's about our data stories. So I will dig a little deeper in 4 data stories that we develop inside the distribution France, where we have token value. It could be in terms of marketing, could be in terms of logistics, it could be in terms of commerce or trade, and so on. So the first big subject as a distributor, it was we have a large base of customer, more than 300,000, as I said, and we have to create customer loyalty. Basically, at the end of the curve of this customer loyalty, it's the people, the customer that are leaving to the competition, which was our first issue. We decided to take this subject in 2019 because it was in terms of easiness, cross possibility to take value from this algorithm, the best complex in terms of choice. So we developed what we called a churn program for the French distribution brands. What is it exactly? It's an algorithm that are detecting multiple factors that tend to say that in the next 6 months, for instance, a customer will leave our brand to a competition because of some dissatisfactions. On top of detecting that he will leave in the future, we detect too the reason behind this dissatisfaction. Our goal around that is to create a speech for our commercials in order they could face the client with the reason. Maybe we have an issue in terms of logistic on some command, or maybe in terms of pricing and so on. So we detect that. We say to the commercial, okay, this customer will leave in the next 6 months, plus you should talk about pricing maybe. So the results are quite good, and we are really happy about that, because it's 19 months since it's live and monitored. We have saved something like 50 million euros in terms of sales, which was pretty important during and just after the pandemic. And basically, in July 2020, we really touch our goal of 1% turnover save in terms of monthly return for the main brands we developed for this algorithm. So it was our main success in terms of algorithm plus deployment plus change in terms of way we process the information in terms of operation and seeing results from that. A second story is on how we use all the information we have in terms of customers, a lot of information, and how we use that in order to better target them in terms of commercial efficiency. So, as I described, the goal is to be able to make some kind of generalist segmentation, where it's behavior segmentation, or I can link a client, a customer, in terms of behavior he can have between digital, multi-channel. Does he buy some goods, not this one, in terms of commercial canals, preference, or commercial usage, and so on, plus external information. On top of that, we have some kind of very general segmentation, really precise and dynamic in terms of time. On top of that, we put a targeting tool. So the targeting tool is just saying that, okay, I look at this bunch of people, this group of people, and I test the affinity to a need. It's a need because it could be a product, a service, or a distribution canal. Maybe it could say, okay, this guy, it's better to to talk with him through an email or a notification on an application, or maybe you should visit him physically on this on his work or on the place where he works. So we do that for La Plateforme du Bâtiment, sorry, and we expand that to all the brands in Saint-Gobain distribution France. The result was really great. In terms of operations, it was already really great, because if we look back in terms of time, to do a targeting in terms of marketing population takes something like 2 days. I should aggregate data from one side, choose the product, and so on and so on. So in making 2 days. For us, we develop a tool allowing them to be fully autonomous. They are fully autonomous in terms of the product, the targeting or the object, and making a full targeting, and sending the email or the preparing the visit in just in less than 5 minutes. So in terms of operation, we have a huge gain. Plus, in terms of revenue, we have been able on more than 60 targeting commercial campaigns to multiply by 6 the sales per customer generated on campaigns. So it's 9 months since it's in production, and we are expanding globally to all our brands, and continuously improving the algorithm in terms of performance, in terms of the way we segment the population, and so on. One other data story is on our sales rep portfolio. Basically, the commercial relationship is really important for Saint-Gobain. We have more than 50 million commercial contacts per year, just for the French distribution. So we understand that the sales rep positioning or portfolio composition is really important in terms of business development for our business. So we develop an algorithm, develop a tool where commercial director, it could be in region or in territory or nationwide, are able to build automatically a portfolio on the constraint of the portfolio, should it be specialized or very generous portfolio, plus in terms of territory, in order to maximize the ability to answer to the potential of this territory in terms of clients and in terms of coverage of this territory. It's more than 10 months in terms of production. It's used, and the people using this tool are autonomous. On that, it's really important for us, because it's still a business change. They change the way that they are doing their portfolio analysis, construction. We made a huge gain in terms of process, in terms of time, because in the past it was something really long to create a portfolio, because you have to discuss, exchange file, Excel files, and so on and so on. So we made a really good shortening of that. Plus, we observed that in terms of portfolio growth, we have more than 1% growth gain observed over the last year for all the portfolio where we use this solution. And maybe the last data story, and it should be on logistic. Logistic as a distributor is really important. It's really a crucial element to be successful in terms of performance. So one question was asked is in terms of demand forecast, how we can plan the demand in order to match the capacity inside our logistic base. We have basically 3 main national logistic base for all Saint-Gobain, dealing for 15% of all our SKU flows. So how we deal with this ability to size the demand, the capacity to the exact demand. So we developed an algorithm in order to do that, just the demand forecasting for a first step for any kind of product. It could be really erratic, or it could be a very a runner in terms of product making sales every day. So we touch the target of in terms of results of less than 10% absolute prediction error, which was great in terms of ability to do that. In terms of time scale, we predict for the next 4 weeks the number of commands you should receive in terms of in your logistics sectors. And so you can adapt the number of people that you are using in all the sector of the logistic base, because it's really maybe something like 30% of the cost of a logistic base are linked to the people we are using to prepare the command. So it's really important to be strong and accurate on that. We will have shortly the result in terms of financial impact. But for instance, it's used by the operator inside the base, sorry, and plus they are allowed to give their feedback directly inside the application, inside the tool, so that we can take it into account in order to be accurate or most accurate in terms of prediction and in terms of the way they are processing information.